All right. I guess, can you take us through your match tonight? Were you happy with how it went there for you?
I mean, I want to say, like, no, I'm not happy with it, but I wrestled that kid last year, and it was only a 1-point match. He's just a tough opponent. He's real scrappy. He's probably like 5'11", as a 141-pounder, which is, he's pretty long. He's a real lengthy kid, and he just kind of causes me fits in a lot of positions. And, so I want to be really mad at myself and stuff, and I'm not happy with it, but the same thing happened last year. So it's just that kid. It's just his matchup is tough for me, and I go into every match wanting to like pin people and dominate them so much that sometimes when somebody like fights back so hard and stuff, it's I'm maybe not quite ready for it because I'm just mentally like I'm ripping shoulders off, I'm getting pins, and then when it doesn't happen, it's like, wait, now you got to wrestle a 7-minute match. So now it's like regroup yourself and get ready, and it was just a tough match, really.
So you're wrestling a guy that's, the way I see it, is pretty similar to yourself,
yeah.
right? Likes to get in the scrambles, really good with his hips, body positioning, high efficiency on the attacks. Mm-hmm. How do you attack that when you're wrestling someone that's almost like a mirror image of you?
Yeah, I like to think that my offense is better, and my defense is better, and my scrambling is better, and everything like that in every position against anybody in the country, right? So that's kind of how I don't really ever go away from my style of wrestling, because I just have a lot of confidence and a lot of faith that it's going to end up working out for me. And if it doesn't work out for me, then I'll take it from there at that time. But and that's why I lose matches. That's why sometimes, like last year, I'll have 7 losses or whatever, because I just go into every match wanting to just wrestle how I wrestle. Because if I start wrestling how they are approaching me and me having to change, then I get more nervous, then I get out of my style. And so it's good to have those matches against people like that. It's good to have a matchup against a 5'11", left leg lead, real scrambly type of dude, because you don't always have that in your practice room. It's the same as you don't always have X, Y, and Z in your practice room. So it's just good to get those tough matches out of the way, because like I said, every match I want to pin people. I mean, I had like 3 first period pins last week and a tech fall and stuff, and I get so caught up in that bonus point win stuff that sometimes surprises me that I have to wrestle a full match, and it's good to get put in that position, and I have to go to deep waters to ultimately come out on top, because I was tired of that match.
Is there a different feel to it, finally getting to wrestle on your home floor here?
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to finally get back to Laramie, and just be at home, wrestling in front of the crowd and stuff, just because like Cheyenne was kind of a home duel, but not, So of course it's always nice to be back. The fans are great. I always wish I could give them a little bit better of a show sometimes, from that match. But they gotta be there for the tough grind matches too, as well as my flashy ones.
I guess, what's it been like, yourself getting, consensus #1 and seeing the team pick up some rankings as a team as well this year?
I mean, it's been awesome. As much as you always say, I'm going to be #1 in the country, it's kind of it's a big goal to be the #1 guy in the country. So to finally see that #1 spot by my name is pretty nice. It's satisfying, but then it also doesn't matter, right? I go into the tournament as a 14 seed, and I go, it doesn't matter, so then why would being a #1 seed matter? And I'm still not there. We still have conference and a lot of wrestling to do, but getting that #1's nice. I mean, it really is. It's nice to know that right now I am the #1 guy in the country, and for the team aspect, it's been really fun. I know, like these last year and stuff, our dual team's been real sketchy week at times, and that really sucks the life out of you. When you go out and you get a pin and then you come back and get yelled at by coach, it's kind of sucks having that. So it's nice to have the team, and these guys are just tough people, and it's finally starting to show this year, I think. And I'm just real excited. I mean, Montori as a freshman, just lining it up like that, it's unbelievable being top 10 as a freshman. And the other 2 guys, they're older, but they're just doing great, and they're tough kids, and they deserve it. So it's nice to have to come together and show that we actually are a team that can compete with the best.
Can you expand on that a little bit? I mean, your role as a leader now, you have young guys around your weight class that are doing really well and getting, some recognition that they deserve, but you're sort of the leader of the bunch. You're the senior, you're the guy who's #1. You have all that on you. How do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm way more about lead by an example type of guy. I really don't like getting into people's ears and like yelling at them and being like that coach aspect, because I'm not a coach yet. They're my friends, and as much as I want to yell at them sometimes, I don't want to become disconnected from them by being like a bully, because we are both seniors or juniors or whatever. So it's all about leading with example with me and just trying to be a positive light every single time I come in the room. And it's for these guys, it's just seeing somebody get to the top, get to number one by training the same way they're training, or they can use me as an example. Oh, he's working hard today. That's how I need to work to become number one in the country. And it's really just an example, and it shows that it's a lot more realistic than, if everybody's just coming in here working super hard and the best guy's not even ranked, just say if that was your team. That gets tough. You're just like, oh, is this the right thing? You start probably losing faith in your coaches, trust, all that kind of stuff. So it's just, ultimately, it's great to have an example. And, and I've had to have my examples throughout my years. And that's really what it takes, is just somebody to show you that it's just realistic and you can be at the top, and people aren't that tough, is what I always say. I always tell that to my people. I'm like, people are not that tough. They're just another man. And if you go out there and punch them in the face, not literally, but, they're going to break. Humans break. If you bring them to deep waters, they're going to break. And that's just the example I try to set. And just by wrestling, being kind of active and stuff, I bring people to that breaking point more often, and they're seeing that and they're wrestling like that. And I mean, it's been great. But like I said, I don't like yell at them or try to coach them up too much. They're self-driven kids. They know what they're doing.
I would think, even before you were number one, you kind of already had that target on your back. Does anything even really change in terms of, nerves, or in terms of getting, other guys' best efforts?
Yeah, not really. Just because, 2 years ago, I ended at second in the country, right? Mm-hmm. So now I hold myself as an NCAA finalist, and everybody that wrestles me knows that I'm an NCAA finalist. So 1, 2, or 3, whatever it is, I don't think it really changed that much, especially at 141. Mm-hmm. This weight's been just kind of out of control. Even, I know I saw some results of tonight's duels and stuff, and it's just surprises me every single time somebody wrestles and gets beat or beats somebody. So it's not any different to me. I do the exact same training. I come in the exact same way. And I was doing that my sophomore year before I was number 2 in the country, and that's how I ended up getting there. It's just having this confidence and belief in myself, and just to continue to do that, and hopefully it just comes together and it ends up being, number one at the end of the race.